Hello, my creepy poples. Welcome to Creepy Corners. I just started talking and Lena looked at me. Um, Hope you're having a great weekend and looking forward to a good week. I've been watching old episodes of Good Mythical Morning. I don't know if you watch that or whatever, but I don't know. To me they're pretty funny. So they were talking today about when they were kids, and this one episode, not today, but in this one episode, they were talking about when they were kids and going into these old abandoned houses out in the woods because they lived in a small town and didn't really have much to do. Um, so it made me think of this, and I thought I would record it for, posterity or whatever. um, but so I'm originally from Georgia, and I'm not going to talk about specifics where exactly this was because I probably should have gotten in trouble for this, but I didn't, thank goodness. But a friend of mine, we used to skip school a lot in our senior year of high school. And don't skip school. It's not worth it. I skipped school and I got in trouble for it and almost didn't graduate. So I advise against it. If I know high school's not the most fun place to be if you're not into high school. But anyway, this isn't supposed to be a lecture. So anyway, we skipped school this one day, and there was we called it the trestles, but it was this abandoned railroad track, and it had these really tall, I guess they were called trestles, I don't know, but people would go there and walk across and hang out and do whatever teenagers do. But down below in the woods there was this old structure, and it almost, I mean, if I'm remembering it correctly, because keep in mind this was back when I was in high school and a senior in high school, so it was a long time ago. If I remember right, it was kind of like it was stacked stone. It was just these walls and basically nothing else other than these walls. And they were pretty high up. I'd say probably 12 feet high or so. And between these two walls was a line, like a steel cable, and in the middle of the steel cable, right in the middle of the walls, was a telephone pole. Now, my friend and I'm gonna just go ahead and say we were giant morons. But we're down there walking around and looking around, and everything looked really cool, and it was by a creek and everything, and so we were just hanging out, and it was fall, so we were wearing jackets and stuff, and there were leaves everywhere. I mean, it was out in the middle of the woods, and so leaves had fallen everywhere. And I dared my friend to jump up on that pole, and she couldn't do it, or she wouldn't do it. I can't remember which one. But so I said, well, I'll do it. And I jumped up on that pole, and I'll also add I weighed a lot less then than I do now. But I jumped up on that pole, and I was up on there for about a second and a half. And if you know anything about architecture or anything like that, you probably know exactly what I'm about to say. But that pole started coming down, and along with it came those walls. And I just said, run. And she and I took off running, and there was a little hill right beside this place. And I mean, it was like being in a movie. I was just trying really hard to run up the hill, and I couldn't because I kept slipping on the leaves. And it was like Flintstone running because I was just basically running in place. But boy, we ran and ran and ran and finally got out of there. And a few years later, I went back to see, if anybody had fixed it or anything, and they hadn't. So, what's the moral of this story? Don't be an idiot. If you come across an abandoned building, don't go in it. I mean, if you have a group of people with you or something, or if you have permission to go in, definitely, just make sure you're safe. But don't jump up on things that are apparently holding the walls up. I mean, it was literally keeping the walls from falling outward, but I made the walls fall in. And I have felt guilty about that ever since. So You know, just maybe think about what you do before you do it. Don't be like me. But anyway, that just made me think of that. And I'll tell you, let's see, we're at 5 minutes. I'll tell you one more quick story. Now, this is flashback, gosh, way, way back. And I was probably 6 years old, somewhere around between 5, 6, 7, something like that. And I lived on a military base. And somehow I wandered over to this metal building, and I think it was, again, this is sort of like true confessions because I did some stupid stuff when I was a kid. So I went into this metal building with, I think, a couple of boys. I don't remember. I know there were a couple other people with me, or kids, other kids with me. And it was, this place had papers, stacks and stacks and stacks of papers, and big, not jars, but like, I almost want to call them vats, but they weren't vats. They were just big, huge plastic jars of mayonnaise and ketchup and stuff like that. Condiments, I guess. But mostly I remember the ketchup and the mayonnaise, and there may have been mustard too. But we snuck into the side of this thing and made a huge mess. I'll put it that way. I'm not going to say too much because I've incriminated myself enough in this video. But don't be like me. Don't be stupid. I feel bad about that one too. So we're going to call this one True Confessions of an Idiot Kid. Probably not. I don't want to draw too much attention. But anyway, that episode just made me think of that. All right, I think that's going to be it for this week. I know I don't have very much content lately. It has been just snowing and really, really, really cold here. I mean, negative numbers and things. So I have not been outside other than to shovel my driveway so that I don't get in trouble. And, you know, just basically doing stuff around here. So that's it. What kind of stupid stuff did you do when you were a kid? Tell me about it. Hopefully, you know, make me feel like I'm not alone, because I can't be the only one that did stupid things when I was a kid. All right, well, that's it, and have a good day or good night wherever you are, and I will talk to you next week, and hopefully I'll have something more to do. All right, bye.